ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay. Someone was asking me actually, since today is 2nd October, why don't we sort of say a few words? I said, okay. Important day because in recent history, two great people were born on this day. One was Mahatma Gandhi, the other was Lal Bahadur Shastri. Unfortunately, Lal Bahadur Shastri is not remembered much. Okay. But for the limited time he was the Prime Minister, he is quite effective. Okay. He led the country through the 65 war quite efficiently. Okay. The other, of course, was Mahatma Gandhi. I do have a great regard for that person. Though I also see the person for what he was. In India, there is a tendency to give the word Mahatma to everyone. Generally, that word is reserved for spiritual masters. Okay? But he was a phenomenal person, so understandable that the word Mahatma is given. Okay. Do you agree with everything that is written or said about him? No, because there has been a lot of hype. Okay. The first one is that we got independent because of him. I would say he was one of the greatest contributors towards the independence, but there is recorded, documented evidence saying that by the Britishers themselves, saying that we cannot afford a mutiny by the Indian armed forces after World War II, and that call was given by Subhash Chandra Bose. If that happens, we won't have a place to hide. So it's better to deal with the Congress and Gandhi. They are more amenable to us than Subhash Chandra Bose. So his contribution is unfortunately hidden or denied by the Congress. I mean, Mahatma Gandhi did a great thing by weaponizing ahimsa. He took a thing like ahimsa and made a weapon out of it against the British. That is phenomenal. Okay? That was something phenomenal. Hats off to him. Okay? Hats off to him. And Gandhiji wanted the Congress party to be dissolved after we got independence. He says, don't claim that we got independence only because of us. He foresaw that problem coming up. And he said, don't claim that. Disband the Congress. Congress was literally a congregation of the people, the freedom fighters. Okay. So, disband. But in many things, the Congress did not listen to Gandhiji. This was one of them. This is one of them. Then, many of us are familiar with his book, My Experiments with Truth. Understandable what all that he did, but many of his experiments with sexuality and brahmacharya, as he called it, came from guilt. One thing is the Christian influence that was there in the society at that time. Second, at the personal level, when I think one of his parents was on the deathbed, and he has been nurturing them, taking them for days on end, okay? For days on end. Phenomenally, well. One of the days, he was overcome with the desire for his wife. Understandable, you are human. So he went to his wife that night, and his parent died that night, the same time. So he felt very guilty at that, and wanted to get into brahmacharya to a level where the body will not respond to stimuli. which is not what brahmacharya is about. Your mind will not respond, I can understand that. You'll be able to laugh it away, of course, all of us do it. But to say the body should not respond, you're going to kill all testosterone production in your body. You'll have to chemically castrate yourself to do that. So that became a little bit, came from his guilt. Again, understandable, because the conditions of that time, the guilt was there. Okay. What I find it difficult to come to terms with is what he said after the Mapala rebellion in Kerala. Now the old timers among the Mallus here will remember, at least will know what happened in the Mapala rebellion well. It is falsely presented as a rebellion against the British. Partly it was against all Hindus as well. It is disguised as a Khilafat movement. It is not Khilafat, it is a Caliphate. Khilafat is the Urdu apabramsha for the Caliphate. It is actually an attempt to establish an Islamic Caliphate, and lot of their own countrymen, the Hindus, were killed. And Gandhiji's response was that the Muslims are only following their religion. Hindus should follow the religion by not striking back. Where is that ever said in Hinduism? Gandhiji said this. It's there on record, okay? It's recorded history has it. Where in Hindu religion ever said, my Balviyar children, Balvika's children, all these kids who go to Shine children, all of them know that Krishna asked Arjuna to fight against injustice. All of them know. That is the message of the Gita. One of the messages. So for Gandhiji to say that, I think was a very, very biased statement. But with all that, I respect the man with all his flaws, because if your respect has to be genuine, you have to understand both sides of what he was. The good, the bad, the ugly, you have to understand everything. Yeah. And we owe a lot to him. Okay, that also I will not downplay. Okay. And he was against the partitioning of the country. The Congress let him down. When he told them, don't accept independence in a partition country. The Congress let him down and accepted it. Anyway. But history will record him as one of the great men that were there. One of the great sons of India. I wouldn't go as far as to call him the father of the nation, because it's an old civilization. It's an old nation. It's a nation from Vedic times. We don't call Vyasa father of the nation. We don't call Shankara father of the nation. We don't call any of the Rishis father of the nation. We call ourselves Rishi Putras. But we don't call them father of the nation. So that, I think, is going a bit too far. Yeah. But otherwise, yes, he definitely deserves our respect and our gratitude. Okay. So with that, let's start the class. Okay. Yeah. Get back into the thing that we are supposed to really get into.
Verse 24 we have finished.
24th we completed, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Partha Brihaspatim, 10th chapter, 24th verse we are done. I think the simple enumerations, I don't think there are any great doubts among people for that. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead. Maharshinam Bhraguraham. One second. Let somebody else just. Maharshinam Bhraguraham. गिरामस्म्य एकमक्षरं यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि स्थावराणां हिमालयः. Maharshinam, among the Maharishis, the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Bhrigu was Parashurama's ancestor. Okay, that's why Parashurama is called Bhargava. Bhrigu is also one of the Gotras there. Okay. If Mallus don't remember your Gotras, you can claim to be either Parashurama Gotra or Bhargava, Bhrigu Gotra. Okay. Yeah. Because we are all supposed to be descendants of Parashurama. Anyway, that apart. Why Bhrigu? When his elder brother Vasishtha was there. Sorry, not elder, Vasishtha was not there. Agastya was the younger brother. Vasishtha the younger brother. But since there were so many rishis, why Bhrigu? This will be clear when you study Taittiriya Upanishad. There is a story in Taittiriya Upanishad which says, Bhrigu vai Varunihi, Bhrigu son of Varunaha, Pitaram Upasasara, went to his father. Why? Adi Devo Brahmeti, please teach me about Brahman. And the father, old school, okay? Father, old school teacher, he gives a definition of Brahman, which is actually a definition of Ishvara. Yato imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, preti abhisham vishanti iti, tad brahma, tapasa brahma jignasasva, tapo brahmeti. Great. That from which everything is born, that by which everything is sustained, that by which everything, that into which everything is resolved. Know that to be Brahman. Let by tapas know Brahman. But so Bhrigu had to go contemplate, and just with that one line he got the whole truth. So there is something special about it. Something special. Therefore, Maharshina Bhrigu. And Bhrigus, Bhargavas were a race where they were rishis but also great warriors. They were that, the race of the rishis were like that. Bhrigu and his descendants were the race of rishis, jnanis, prashanti, atanti, jnananti. Iti Shankara. Shankara defines it like that. Rashanti. How do you mean Rashanti? Jnananti. One who knows the truth. There were people who sought the truth, at the same time great warriors. Therefore, Bhrigu vai Varuni. So, Bhrigu among the Maharshis respect me as Bhrigu, worship me as Bhrigu. Giram asmi ekaksharam. Among the words, ekaksharam, that one syllable word. Omkara. Okay. You have one syllable letters, but you don't have one syllable word. Okay. One syllable word. That's why he says Ekaksharam. That is Omkara. Why? Because Omkara is a phonetic word, phonetic sound. I have said that a number of times in the class, isn't it? That Omkara is Ishvara. Which word are you going to use? One word which is there in all words. All words are nothing but sounds. All sounds come from the gullet to the lips. All words are covered. U for covering whatever is in between. I am just quickly summing it. Okay. Therefore, Om, A, U and Ma coalescing together phonetically will make it Om, one syllable. Therefore, Om is supposed to be Om, one syllable. Don't go on chanting Aum and all that stuff, okay? That Aum chanting will remind me of a dog trying to yawn. Now, I know. In some of the yoga classes, and when you are doing energy work also, even when you are doing energy work, you will chant that, you will elongate that Om. elongated. That's okay. That's for energy work, all right. Because you want that hum, that reverberation you want. You want to feel the reverberation in your system. And even when you do it silently, the reverberation should come up by associations in your mind. So that's how Om is chanted for energy work like that, okay? But in terms of understanding it as part of the language, Ekaksharam, one syllable. That's why it becomes a symbol for Brahman. Brahman is one, and this is also one syllable. Brahman includes everything in it, this one syllable includes everything in it. The one that includes everything. Therefore, Ekaksharam, etc. Right? Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. Among the yagas, so many yajnas you can do. Pitru yajna, because right now Pitru Paksha is going on. But in all of them, he picks up japa yajna. He picks up japa yajna. We all have done japa yajna in the class, no? Okay. Why is he picking up japa yajna? Because immediately there is peace. You are in touch with the peace, with the silence, immediately. Om Ishaya Namaha. Silence the peace that is yourself. Second chant, Om Ishaya Namaha. The phalam of peace, which is it is meant for, is immediate. Whereas in all other yajnas, phalam comes later, sometimes after death only, not before that. Here, phalam is immediate. The shanti, it takes you to yourself immediately. Therefore, japa yajñosmi. Stavaranam Himalaya. Among the unmoving ones, Himalaya. You go to Haridwar first. Haridwar. Very convenient way of saying Haridwar. Because you can make it Haridwar or Haradwar. Haradwar will mean the door towards Shiva. Haridwar will mean door towards Vishnu. And in the Char Dham, starting point used to be Haridwar. Out of the Char Dham, 2 are Vishnu Kshetras, Yamunotri and Badrinath, and 2 are Shiva Kshetras, Gangotri and Kedarnath. So now you decide where you want to go. Haridwar, hum Haridwar batayenge. Haridwar. You can make it Hari or Hara. Your choice. So from after Haridwar, you'll come to Rishikesh, the foothills of the Himalayas, and after that when you go higher to Uttarkashi and beyond, row after row after row after mountain peaks. It's like a whole ocean spread out in front of you. Huge area. Therefore, Stavaranam Himalaya. Okay. I have trekked in many of these places in the Himalayas, and there is still so much to see there. It's never ending. Never ending. Stavaranam Himalaya. Ashwattaha sarva vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha gandharvanam chitrarataha siddhanam kapilo muni. Ashwattaha sarva vrikshanam. Okay. Among all the trees, invoke me as Ashwatha. Ashwatha in this country is worshipped anyway. Supposed to be very sacred. Okay. For all the rituals, etc., that lot of things you do. Simple ones, complex ones, all of them, Ashwatha is invoked. The banyan also. Therefore, Ashwatha among Vrikshas. It keeps on living and living. Even though the name is Shvana Tishtati iti Ashwatha. That which does not exist tomorrow, meaning it is finite. But among all the trees, it lives very long. Because the secondary roots come up and prop up the tree, so it keeps on living for ages. But Ashwataha. Devarshinam Naradaha. Among the residents of heaven who are rishis, very few. invoke me as Narada. Narada is a caricature in Hindi films and the show, and the media, TV serials, etc. Narada was a phenomenal person. In Chandogya there is a section called Bhuma Vidya, where Narada goes to Sanat Kumara, Brahmaji's son, and tells him, Adihi Devo Brahmeti, please teach me about Brahman. Sanat Kumara is surprised. He says, Triloka Sanchari Narada is coming to me, ye kya baat hai? What is this? So he says, tell me what you don't know, what you know, therefore I can teach you what you don't know. Narada gives him a list of 64 things that he knows. 64 disciplines that he is a master. Bhuta Vidya, knowledge of physics, matter. Preta Vidya, knowledge of ghosts, bhutas. Astronomy, astrology, music, he was a master in that. Grammar, dance, martial arts. You can't imagine Narada as martial artist. That's the caricature of Hindi films. I'm telling you, this modern filmmakers have done a great disservice to our culture. So all this, like this, he gives 64 vidyas. Each one takes 12, 14, 15 years to master each one of them. And he says, such an Narada I am. Shokchami, I am in grief. That existential grief is there in me. Shokasya param tarayatu. Please take me beyond sorrow. Then Sanat Kumara teaches him. All that you know is alpam, is a finite discipline. Yatna alpam, that bhumaha. What is not alpam, not finite, is called bhumaha. Therefore, I will teach you the Bhuma Vidya, which is Vedanta, okay? Yeah. So, among the Deva Rishinam, invoke me as Narada. Gandharvanam Chitra Rataha. Among the Gandharvas, invoke me as Chitra Rataha, their king. Gandharva, this is meant for those who practice Gandharva Vidya. What is Gandharva Vidya? Music and dance, okay? Music and dance is Gandharva Vidya. Therefore, all people who practice Gandharva Vidya can invoke him in Chitra Rataha. Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. Among the Siddhas, I am Kapilaha. Now there are at least two Kapilas in the Indian tradition. One Kapila was the one who formed the Sankhya system, this Darshana of Sankhya. That is not the Kapila referred to here. There is an older Rishi called Kapilaha, and it is said he taught his mother Vedanta. The moment I heard that, I said, no, namaskar. Why? Which mother is going to learn from the son? Hey, shut up. I taught you how to wipe your bottom. Not going to learn anything. I have not seen mother learning from their sons in any place. My guru's mother, Puja Swamiji's mother, I knew well, okay. She would very often come to the ashram at Coimbatore and all, and I met her and I would go and pay her my respects after all, my guru's mom. So she had a high regard that her son has become a great Mahatma. But learning from him, because of Kanchi Periyar, I lost my son. She would say like that. Why? Because she had 4 sons. Swamiji was the eldest. And so Swamiji wanted to to go and study full time. After he met Swami Chinmayananji, he wanted to study. So mother was very upset at that. So the mother took him to meet the Kanchi Periyar, old man of Kanchi. That time he was not an old man, he was younger, much, much. So, in tears she tells him, Swamiji, wherever this is what my son is saying, he wants to go and become a student of Vedanta and become a sannyasi and all that. So the Periyar looked at Puja Swamiji and looked back at her. He says, how many children you have? He says, 4 sons. You have 4 sons. Therefore enough to carry on your line. He says, yes. Then what is wrong if one of them becomes someone like me? What is wrong if one of them becomes someone like me? The poor lady didn't know what to say. Swami Chinmayanji told the same thing to my mother, okay? Yeah, he told the same thing to my mother. Yeah. First Swami Chinmayanji asked me, you are the only son, because he knew me. I said, yes Swamiji, but in our tradition, Marimakata. The girls take the line forward, not the boys. Yes, and you have a sister. I said, yes Swamiji. Okay, enjoy, come. Then my mother and father went to me. He said, what is wrong if you become someone like? Same words. So if any of your children come, I may use the same words to you all, okay? Or I may not use, I may use something else. Okay, yeah. All right. Therefore, Kapilaha Muni was invoked among the Munis. Munis, Manana Shilavan, great intellectuals, thinkers. Uche Shravasam Ashwanam Viddhimam Amrtodbhavam Airavatam cha Gajendranam Naranam cha Naradipam. This guy loves horses. He's waiting for the Mahalakshmi season to start. You all know the Mahalakshmi season. Yeah. Well, come on, you don't need me to tell you about Mahalakshmi seasons, okay? Someone has asked, what is the difference between a Maharshi and a Muni? Nothing really. There are different ways of putting. That's all. Generally, the term Maharshi is given to the first group of Rishis that were there. People later were called Munis, just to make a difference. That this is the first batch of these people. Others were equally great, but they came later. Therefore, Munis, Mananashila. Okay. It is not the Jain Munis. They adopted the word Muni for their teachers. Therefore, their teachers are called Munis. Okay. So, among those who are horse lovers, Ashwanam, they would like to invoke Ishvara like a horse. If that is what you like, Uchche Shravasaha, Mam Vidhi. Take me as Uchche Shravasaha. Okay. Vidhi Mam Amrtodbhavam. That manifested, that came up when the milky waters were being churned. A time of searching for the Amritam. For the Devas and the Asuras at that time. Uchche Shravasaha. At that same time, another animal came up. Who's that? Airavatam cha Gajendranam. Among Gajendras, the elephants. Invoke me as Airavataha, Indra's elephant. Supposed to have the strength of 1,000 elephants. Okay. Airavataha. Naranam cha Naradipam. If you want to worship me among human beings, worship me as the king. So people sometimes claim divine right to rule because of this, okay? No, in India nobody claimed divine right to rule. Nobody had that. In India, nobody claimed a divine right to rule. They may have claimed a hereditary right. But in ancient India, it was not guaranteed that just because you are the king's son, you will become the king. If you are found not fit, the council could replace you with somebody else. Even if he is not having royal blood, could still do that. But if you want to worship him as a human being, worship him like that. That's how Mahatma Gandhi, etc., became worshipped. Yeah, this is how it comes about. Because in India there is this thing that we recognize that anything special belongs to Ishvara. Therefore, you will respect that and worship. The flip side of that is once you put a person on a pedestal, you don't have to follow his teaching or anything, you can just worship him and get away. That's the flip side of it, okay? All right. आयुधनानामहं वज्रं धेनूनामस्मि कामदुक् प्रजानां च कंदर्पः सर्पानामस्मि वासुकी. Ayudhana, among the ayudhas, weapons. Aham Vajraha. Remember at that time Brahmastra etc. was known. But Vajra, the very creation of Vajra was separate. Okay. Vajra was created with sacrifice. Other weapons were created by tapas. Okay. Other weapons were created by tapas. I had placed it on the thing and forgot to put it on. Okay. Other weapons were created by tapas, whereas the Vajra by sacrifice. There was a Rakshasa who couldn't be killed, who could be killed only with a weapon made by the bones of a Rishi. So Dadichi, the Rishi, gave up his bones. He sat in Samadhi and left his body, and the bones were used to form a weapon. Therefore, Vajra, that became Vajraha. Okay. It is from this that the first martial art in India was called Vajramushti. Not Kalari. Kalari is later. The first martial art mentioned in the Ramayana, mentioned in Mahabharata, etc. Vajramushti. First art. Okay. Dhenunam asmi kamaduk. Among the cows, the cow lover. Okay. Animal husbandry. He loves cows. Therefore, worship me as Kamaduk. Kamadenu. All desires are fulfilled. Okay, yeah, Kamadenu. Prajanaschasmi Kandarpaha. What about those who are longing for love and affection? Whom will you worship? And many of us are wanting love and affection in our lives. Kandarpaha. Okay? Kandarpa. Kamadeva. Worship me as Kamadeva, he says. If you want love and affection in your life, for most of you it is too late, you already have one. Okay? For the others, or if you want one additional, okay? Kamadeva, okay. Okay. Therefore, those who want progeny also worship Kamadeva. Those who want children, okay, they also worship Kamadeva. Okay. Sarpanam asmi Vasuki. Among the sarpas, the poisonous snakes, want to invoke me? Vasuki. You know, there is nothing left out. All of any special form is taken. Any group, the special is taken. Any group, special is taken. Okay. Anantaschasmi naganam varuna yadasamaham pitranam aryamam chasmi yamas samyatamaham. Among the Nagas are supposed to be multi-headed snakes, okay, having more than one head. Okay. Anantam. Worship me as Ananta. Worship me as my bed. Ananta Shayana is Vishnu, Krishna. Okay. So it says, invoke me in Ananta. Okay, invoke me in Ananta. Varuna Yadavasam. Among the Yadavas, okay. Yadasam. Yadasam is water bodies. Invoke me as Varuna, the Lord of waters. Previously it said Sagara. Previously it said Sagara. Now it said as Varuna, the Lord of waters. In fact, if you look among the Sindhis, Punjabis also to an extent, they have a deity called Jhulelal. Damadam Mast Kalandar. That one, that song. Okay. The Damadam Mast Kalandar song. That is based on Jhulelal. And Jhulelal is supposed to be Varuna. They show him as an old man riding a fish and coming. Okay, yeah. Therefore, invoke me as Varuna. Okay. Pitranam Aryamas-chasmi. You want to worship your ancestors, but you don't know anyone. Who is your ancestor? You don't know. Aryaman, invoke me as Aryaman, the Lord of the Pitralokas. Okay. Yamas Samyatamasmi. Among all the people who create discipline, law, order, etc. Because this guy is a great rule lover, you know. He loves rules and regulations. Not me. Though I love the idol there. Worship me as Yamaha, the Lord of Death. Why? Dharma. He's called Dharmaraja, okay? Yeah, Dharmaraja. The one who lays down Dharma. Why? Ultimately everything ends up in the grave, no? Yeah. Then who keeps who has to dole out karma phala, etc.? Dharmaraja. Yamaha, okay? Therefore, Yamaloka is not equated to hell in the Indian tradition. No. Okay. Yama was a great jnani. He was a teacher in Kathopanishad to Nachiketa, the god of death. Who, when you want to find out what is beyond death, whom else will you go but to the Lord of death? Yeah. Yamaloka. Prahaladaschaasmi daityanam kalayataham mriganam cha mrigendroham vainateyascha pakshinam. Daityas, okay, descendants of Ditihi, Daityas. Invoke me as Prahalada, Bhakta Prahalada, who does not know? The greatest of the Vishnu says, invoke Prahalada as me, he says. In Prahalada, invoke me, the Lord. Ishvara. Okay. Kalayatamasmi. You are an astrologer. You always spend time in calculating time and this and what is the star at this time, what is this thing at the time, what is the play of fate, etc. Worship me as Kalaha, time itself. Invoke me as time. Which culture will tell you this? Invoke Ishvara as time. Jagat Bhakshakaha. Okay. Kalayatamasmi. Mriganam cha mrigendroham. Among the animals, invoke me as the king of the beasts, the lion itself, the majesty of a lion. Invoke me as a lion. Therefore, all tribal worships come under all these, okay? Tribal worship, they have things like Vagobha and all, you know, worship the tiger, the lion, etc. All comes under this. Oh, tribals are a separate religion. Kuch nahi hai, it's all included in Hinduism. Okay. So, political reasons you will say all that. Vainateyascha pakshinam. Among the birds, Vainateyaha, Garudaha. My vehicle. I travel around that. Okay. Yeah, invoke me as that. Pavana Pavatamasmi Rama Shastrvratamaham Jashanam Makaraschasmi Sosasamasmi Jhanavi. Among the Pavatam, Pavakanam, among the one that purifies. Invoke me as the air. All purification is oxidization. Therefore, among all the purifiers, invoke me as air itself. And the people who carried weapons, Shastra Pratam, warriors. Among the warriors, how will you invoke me? Ramaha. Invoke me as Ramaha. Kodanda Panihi. One man against an army. Kara and Dushasana, the whole battalion finished off. One man. The whole battalion finished off. Wow, that is something. Okay. No chariot, nothing, standing on foot. Against the Rakshasa hordes. Bhishma also used to finish off one battalion a day in the Mahabharata war. But he was finishing human beings, not Rakshasas. Each weighing half a ton and things like that, Yeah. Okay. Jashana Makaras Chasmi. Among the what do you call the people, the entities that live in the rivers, Jashana. Makaras Chasmi. I am the Makara, the crocodile. Okay. Some translations put it as a shark. You can put it as a shark also. Why? If there is a killing machine that is meant to, with one job but nothing to kill, it is a shark. Okay, it is a shark. Half an ounce of blood, 2 miles away it will smell in the water. Half an ounce of blood, 2 miles away it will smell and come straight for it. And the muscled body, oh my God, what a fighting machine that is. There is only one other being that can handle that. That's the dolphin. The butt of the dolphin, the head of the dolphin is used as a battering ram against the shark. So the dolphin is always the sailor's best friend. Why? If you are fallen into the ocean, you better hope that there is some dolphins around. Arabian Sea, off Bombay, you find a lot of dolphins. Bay of Bengal, lot of sharks. Okay, so Jashanam, therefore shark or Makaraha actually is crocodile. Okay, Strotasamasmi Jhanavi. Among the rivers, the flowing bodies, okay, rivers. पूछने का बात है क्या? Jhanavi, Ganga. In fact, Ganga is symbolic of Atmajnanam. There is a small story about it. Keeping on saying this, I see that some people can get a bit bored about it. Kalidasa was asked, which is the most sacred river in India? So it's a simple Yamuna. He says, why Yamuna? Come on. My Lord played on the banks of the Yamuna. He dipped in the rivers, in the water of the rivers and all. Among the rivers, that is sacred. And the king asked him, what about Ganga? Sir, you asked me about the rivers. Ganga is liquid spirituality flowing. Yeah, it is true. Therefore, all Atmajnanam are there in the banks of the Ganga. Narmada is also sacred. But Narmada people went, all those tapasvis who wanted siddhis, powers, etc., went to the banks of the Narmada. All those who wanted knowledge, etc., came to the banks of the Ganga. Of course, India is full of sacred rivers, okay, Kaveri, this, that, all that. What is that river in Kerala, which is considered very sacred? Alavapura. It's got another name. I forget that other name. Any Mandu here remembers that? Okay. If you have to say anything, you'll have to unmute because all of you are muted. Okay. Anyway, therefore, in India, the Ganga. Okay, yeah. All right. Sarganam adirantascha madhyamam chaham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vada pravadatamaham. Sarganam, in the creation. What are you with respect to? How do I invoke you in the creation? Okay. Adi madhyamaha antaha. Invoke me as the beginning, middle and end. Why? Because I am in and through the whole creation. Whole creation is a manifestation of what I am. Therefore invoke me like that. Invoke me. Among the vidyas, among the knowledge, पूछने का बात है आत्म विद्या. Among the knowledge, invoke me as Atma Vidya. Dasara is coming, okay? When you keep your books for worship, ensure that there is one Vedanta book also there, okay? Yeah. Atma Vidya. My poor mother, when I was younger, I used to keep my hunting knife there. Dasara Puja, Ayudha Puja. Among the books and all, on top of it, I'd keep my hunting knife. Ayudha Puja, no? She can't say no, born in this culture. Later on, Atma Vidya also got added to it. Both was disturbing for her. Now, what to do? And I used to enjoy the fun of it, okay? Atma Vidya, among the Vidyas. Vada Pravadatamaham. Among the debaters, I am the Vada. There are many types of discussions known technically, okay? Between a guru and Sishya, it is called Samvadaha, where the knowledge flows from the teacher to the student. Then there is Vada. When it is between two equals, it is called Vada. Then there is another one called Jalpa. Jalpa is arguing for the heck of it. Okay. Then there is Vidanda. Whatever you say, I will oppose. This is what the opposition is doing in India. Whatever the government does, you oppose it. Vidanda. Out of this, okay, why not Samvada? Why did he pick up Vada? Because Vada is between two equals. The level of discussion can be pretty high. Okay? And it leads to, Vada is something, it is not like modern conferences. You tell your piece, the other person tells us, no. You will debate until you come to the truth. You don't say, well, who can say what is the truth? Truth is out there somewhere. No. That's not what. Yeah. You break each other's head in discussion until you come to the truth. Vada. Very interesting to see the Shastra Vichara done by experts, okay? Very interesting. If my level of my students grow big enough, I'll expose you all to some Vada, okay? Unfortunately, most of it happens in Sanskrit. But maybe you all can pick up some Sanskrit in the meantime. So you'll know what Vada is like, Yeah. That is traditional. Modern Vadas you have not seen. Modern Vadas that you see on the TV, etc., is more like Jalpa. Fish market. Discussion on TV is like a fish market, with my apologies to the fisherwoman. Okay, yeah. Okay. So Vada Pravadatamasmi. Okay. You can look at one more verse. All these are just enumerations. See, nowadays nobody will invoke the Lord in all this, no? Can you imagine? invoking the Lord like this? In any of these forms? Maybe in the ocean, maybe something like that, maybe as the Himalayas, but beyond that, this talks about what our culture was once upon a time. This is a revelation of our culture in many ways. This was what we were. We respected debates and discussions. Yeah, we respected debates and discussions. Because we are a nation of people who wanted to know the truth. We are seekers of the truth. That was paramount important to all of us. Everyone at the end of their lives became sannyasis. My exclusive seeking the truth. Therefore, debate, discussion are all part of the whole thing. Therefore, there is a certain high respect given to that. Provided was proper debate and discussion, not saying anything. Yeah. There was a particular format for all these things. Okay. Yeah. And the Madhyastha was always there. There was a referee there who will see that everything is conducted according to the proper guidelines. Maybe I can introduce you all to an easier one called Vakya Vichara. That happens when this is among the group of students, they will take up some aspect of the Shastra and discuss it. Again in Sanskrit, okay? Again in Sanskrit. So, how does the discussion, and some senior student or a teacher will oversee the whole thing, because it can go haywire. No? The students are discussing, it may go haywire to something else which is not true. Yeah. Okay. So, we'll do. All that will happen. All we need is a small center to come up, then all these things can happen. Okay, yeah. Aksharanam akaraschasmi dvanda samasitasya ahameva akshaya kalaha dataham vishwato mukha. Aksharanam akaraschasmi. Among the alphabets, I am akaraha. Why? The first basic sound that is a part of all sounds. You cannot pronounce a consonant without an akara in it. Pronounce ka, kha, ga, kha, without a in it or any other alphabet in it. In North India, unfortunately, there is a habit of swallowing the last vowel. Ramaha. Instead of that, they will say Ram. A kidhar gaya? Kha liya. Yeah. To prevent that, in South India, they will add Raman. And there is a big this thing going on. It is yoga, not yoga. When yoga became yoga, it started getting corrupted. No. Yoga, that short A was always there. You'll hear these discussions on, Yoga. The short A is there. It's not yoga, a long one. Yoga. Okay. All right. Then dvanda samasikasya. There are many samasas. In some samasas, now for this you have to go into grammar. And I think only one or two of you all are familiar with the grammar part, okay? Anyway, I'll make it simple. Samasa is a joining together of two words. Samudra drishtam anaya. Samudra drishtam. The one who has seen the ocean, get him, please call him here. Where the importance is the second word. Samudra is not the important one. You are not getting the ocean, you are only getting the person who has seen it. So the importance is given to the second word. Sometimes the first word is given importance. Okay. In Dvandva, okay, easy to understand. Once, big discussion among the people. What is the meaning of Rameshwara? Rameshwaram is there, no? What's the meaning? So went to Lord Shiva. Simple. Ramaha Ishvaro Yasya. For whom Rama is Ishvara. First word becomes important. So Vishnu. Because we know Rameshwara is Vishnu. That we all know. But when you went to Shiva, Shiva said, for whom Rama is Ishvara. You went to Vishnu. What is there to ask? Ramasya Ishvara. For whom? For Rama, who is Ishvara? Shiva. That is Shiva. So अभी ये problem हो गया ना. Which of them? This is like you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So they went to Brahmaji. What is the meaning? He used Dvandva Samasa, where both the words are given equal importance. Ramascha so Ishwarascha. It is Rama, it is Ishvara both. Yeah. So both words given equal importance. Therefore, Dvandva Samasa. Now who will invoke Ishvara as Samasa? Only Vaiyakarna. If you are a grammarian in life, okay? If your whole life is made up of grammar, rules and regulations, only then, okay? Ahameva Akshaya Kalaha can invoke me as time. Okay? Yeah. Dataham Vishyato Mukha. He can invoke me as Vishyato Mukha, the one who is everywhere, one who is all seeing, who is the Karma Phala Data. Invoke me as that. Coming closer now, no? That is easier to invoke. Karma Phala Data Vishyato Mukha. So like this, not over, okay? There is still, I think, one more class. Yes, we'll need one more class to complete it. The idea is various forms invoke Ishvara as you want. Don't worry, after the next class that will happen the day after Dasara, I can give you some modern forms that you can invoke Ishvara also. Some Pauranic forms and some modern aspects of it also if you want to. Okay. Or traditional aspect, whatever. We'll see that. So good place to stop. Okay. Om Tat Sat. We don't have class next Saturday. We'll start the Saturday after that at 5:30. Okay. Of course, Amrita will put a reminder on it and I'll put it in the other groups also. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Swami.
October 16th at 5:30. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you.
So enjoy your Navratri. Worship the Lord as Devi, the sacred feminine. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Not at all. Take care. Nice to see you all. Have a great Navratri. Enjoy yourselves.
Thank you, Swami.
Take care. Yeah.